Stock market's pretty close to the highs of the session here as we wrap up with 10 minutes into the bell. I'm looking at equities grinding back after a little bit of a dip. Let's go to the risk radar, which now keep in mind as intermediate values. There's yellow, there's red, there's green, and then there's dark yellow, yellowish green, then there's very positive green. So the stuff around the edges of the risk radar is basically, in my mind, the most solid looking stuff. And I still put stocks in that category. You see the bull icon down there with the solid green label. That's because we've broken a little bit. We've bent, really. We haven't broken. So I think equities are in okay shape until we really start getting further downside, or you see some of these stock blowups turn into sector blowups. I think that's an NVIDIA story next week. A few of the individual names that were really saucy to the upside, like MicroStrategy, Open, and Hood, have taken a little bit of a kick in the teeth the last 2 days. And I don't like to see NVIDIA and the semis getting hit with tech. But I'm holding it green. Gold is on the next level of green, partly because I'm still trying to figure out if gold wants to break out. I don't have super strong feelings about it, but what I do know is that gold generally looks solid in the long-term trend. Here I am. Bonds, right in the middle, yellow. We heard two takes on bonds in the last 2 days, and at this point, I still am unconvinced either way. It looks like a range-bound trade for me, and trying to figure out how Trump and Powell are going to interact seems like a disaster. The dollar's in the mix too. Let's bring in Scott Bauer, who's going to join me to give his thoughts and tell me where I missed, where my logic doesn't add up. If I sound smart, dumb, etc., I can trust him to give me the honest dope. Mr. Bauer, what's up? Scott, you got me? There he is.
No, that is for sure. You never, ever sound dumb. Can you hear me, Oliver?
I got you. Now I got you, yeah.
Okay, good. Might be loud behind you there. No, you are spot on. And in terms of, the equity markets here, yeah, the NASDAQ's taken, a little bit of the brunt of the selling here, but you're right. This is still a marketplace until we see differently. This is still a marketplace that is fairly on track to move higher here. I'm not worried about a big sell-off whatsoever. And then in terms of gold, we've talked about this a lot over the last 6, 9, 12 months. Gold has been a buy the dip. You have to follow that trend. We're still in that trend. Even though we got a nice rally today and GLD is up, $3 or so today, that is still a nice rally. There's more to go here. It doesn't mean that it's going to go up, just vertically, right? Or, we're always on that stair-step approach. It doesn't need to be a binary move, but it is absolutely still a buy the dip.
It's just gold, it seems hard to lose, Scott. It's like no matter what regime we get, it at least hangs on. It's like your downside seems like, part of me, I'll be honest, part of me feels like a lot of people, they could have a very simple approach to the market right now, which would basically be gold and like Bitcoin or something else high beta risk, because that juicy stuff, high beta, when it goes up is killing it. And then gold seems to go along for the ride and doesn't ever really go down that much. So like, I know that's kind of a crazy thought, but like the gold Bitcoin portfolio, do you hate it?
No, I really don't. And, if people are looking for excess alpha, right? They really want immediate results. Okay, maybe crypto Bitcoin is the way to go, but you're going to see fluctuations in the marketplace a lot more than what we have seen in gold. And again, regardless of what we have seen over the last weeks, months, pretty much since Liberation Day, let's even call it here, gold has been probably the steadiest of any asset class out there. It has recovered on every pullback and every pullback pretty immediately. So again, until that trend changes, and I don't see any fundamental reason why it would, because the reason why people have been buying gold and central banks have been buying gold over the last 12 months or so, that hasn't changed. So fundamentally, the story for gold has not changed.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm on board with that. It also seems like it kind of relates to the bond thing being stuck. Let's go back into Trader Oasis here. I'm going to pull up NVIDIA. I feel like any conversation about the market, I think this ranks above Jackson Hole, Scott, but I don't know. That could be certainly a point of contention or debate.
It absolutely is. Jackson Hole, everybody is really on top of it. Can't wait for Friday. I'm included in that. But by Saturday, or at least by Monday next week, that's going to be behind us, and the market will kind of reset to whatever they believe the commentary was from Powell on Friday. It's just video, and we say this often during pretty much every earnings cycle. There is a group, whether it's Apple in the past or Alphabet, whatever it is, that boy, we got to watch that one to give us an indication. But with all of the news coming out that maybe the AI trade is overcooked, tech is on its heels a little bit now. There's probably not a time that I can remember that we're going to see an earnings report as important as what NVIDIA says, and it's going to be really about what they say about guidance moving forward.
Absolutely agree. It's, here's the thing though. I got to be honest, Scott. I mean, you saw the show yesterday. This could not be done without AI. Well, it could be done, but it wouldn't be as good. Graphics, sheets, getting this up off the ground in the time we did in a high traffic place like this requires you to use everything to your advantage. And so that's where I've kind of become radicalized a little bit here in the last couple months. I've been calling it the everyday trade. You trade things that that you use every day. I am using AI every day.
No, there's no doubt about that. And just to your point there, you're using it for your application. Just think of the other people, other businesses, major international corporations that are benefiting from the use of AI. And I still think that we are in the very, very beginning stages. And the AI trade may be cooling off a little bit here, but again, and there we go. There's the closing bell.
There it is.
That's the ebb and flow of the market.